Hey guys, I just wanted to help you out remembering the nerve roots of the upper limb. So we're going to start off with the ulnar nerve with its nerve roots of 7, 8, and T1. I like remembering those nerve roots because if you remember Marmu, which is the order of the nerves, and then the brachial plexus is 5, 6, 7, 8, and T1, I like remembering that the bottom of Marmu is going to go to the lower 3 of the brachial plexus, and the musculocutaneous is going to do the top 3. So that's how I remember those nerve roots. So as the median travels down the forearm, it's going to start losing its top nerve root. But first, let's look at this forearm innervation. So the ulnar nerve is going to be sandwiched in between the flexor carpi radialis brevis and the flexor digitorum profundus. So it's going to innervate both of those nerves. It'll only be doing half of the flexor digitorum profundus, but it's still going to only have the C7, C8, and T1 nerve roots. And then the rest of the forearm will all be innervated by the median. So now that we gone through the forearm, let's go to the hand. So the hand, like I said, is going to start losing some nerve roots. So it's going to have an inconsistent branch for the C7, but it's still going to have that C8 and T1 nerve root. So the hypothermia region is going to be all those digiti minima muscles, those 3. And then it's also going to, this region is also going to be associated with the 3rd and 4th lumbricals. So both of those muscles are going to get an inconsistent C7 branch. Once we leave that hypothermia region and go into the deep palmar surface of the hand, we're going to have the 8 and 1 nerve roots. So that's going to be associated with the deep innervation of the ulnar nerve. So that's going to be the dorsal and palmar interossei muscles that help with the puppet shape of your hand. We're also going to have the flexor digitorum brevis, and it's going to be the deep head of that. Then also the adductor pollicis brevis, or adductor pollicis, because there's no brevis. So that's all for the ulnar. And I said as we go down the median, it starts losing branches. The median, which is the muscle that goes down the middle of the forearm, is kind of going to do the opposite. So the median nerve is going to start off with 6, 7, 8, and 1, and that's going to be in the theta region. So just those three muscles right there. And then as you leave that region, it starts getting inconsistent branches. So for the first 2 lumbricals that the median nerve innervates, it's going to start having an inconsistent C6 branch, or C6 nerve root, but it's still going to have the C7, C8, and T1. That's also going to happen for the flexor pollicis longus tendon, as well as, or the flexor, or the palmaris longus and the flexor pollicis longus. Those are all going to get inconsistent C6, but still have the C7, C8, and T1. This is a really important group of nerve roots to remember, because other portions of the body also have this combo, and it's usually going to be associated with muscles that are doing a lot of motion. So the tricep, that also does a ton of motion, or initiates a ton of motion. So the tricep is going to have that C6, C7, C8, and T1. And then as we go down the posterior of the forearm, remember this is all getting innervated by the radial nerve, we are going to get C6, C7, C8, but we're going to lose that T1 nerve root. So that's going to be all of the forearm extensors as well as the thumb extensor. So everything in that anatomical snuff box, see that's all orange. So that's going to be C6, C7, and C8. The only exception to the extensors is that the extensor carpi radialis longus. That one's going to also have the 5 associated with it. Another region that has this C6, C7, C8, and T1 nerve root is going to be the lower pectoralis major. So that will also get that innervation. You can see that the upper fibers of the pectoralis major is going to have around that same region, but we're going to cross out the T1 here. We're not going to have that T1. And then the pectoralis minor, he's going to get inconsistent. So just remember this area is going to be, if you can remember, the lower fibers are C6, C7, C8, and T1 with all the red. It's going to also have that combo, and then you can kind of guess for the other regions. So going back up to this drawing of the brachial plexus again, remember that the bottom and the top of Marmu, or the nerve roots, get the bottom and top 3 nerves. So musculocutaneous will get all those. And then another nice nerve to remember is the axillary that does 5 and 6. So the axillary doing 5 and 6, that'll do all of deltoid as well as the teres minor. And then if we remember 5 and 6 for the deltoid, that'll help us with the musculocutaneous. So the musculocutaneous can use all of the 5, 6, and 7 nerve roots. So we're going to start off by innervating the coracobrachialis, which is going to do the C6 and C7 nerve roots. But once it pierces coracobrachialis, you might remember in cadaver lab that that's actually how you find the musculocutaneous nerve. It's going to copy the axillary nerve and just do 5 and 6. So most of all of the major elbow flexors are going to be 5 and 6. So that'll be the biceps, the brachialis, and the brachioradialis. You can see that it's also green. So that will be a bunch of the nerve roots, and then hopefully you can remember just by studying the rest of them. Hope this helps. Have a great day. Love you guys.